The Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep rolls along on day one. Game 2 of our doubleheader features the 7th-seeded Villanova Wildcats and the 10th-seeded Xavier Musketeers. Hi again, everybody. Welcome courtside. I'm John Fanta, joined by my partner, Kim Adams. There have been 37 Big East tournaments. Harry Perretta, the Villanova head coach, has been a part of all of them, and you get the goosebumps pregame because he was just honored by the conference. Muffet McGraw, Gino Auriemma, other greats paying tribute.
Right, that was a tremendous video they rolled out. Harry, emotional for sure, but if we know Harry, he's a gamer, so he's gonna put the emotions aside, and they've got 40 minutes in this one today, John.
The 42nd-year head coach retiring at the end of this season. On the other side, this Xavier Musketeers team is starting a new era led by Melanie Moore.
Right, and the last matchup between these two teams was just a one-point game, and we already mentioned in the first game, this is not a typical 7-seed in Villanova. They have the same record as 3rd-seeded St. John's by means of a 5-way tie. They are playing here today, but looking to get back to tomorrow. So this is a very talented number 7 seed.
Couple of all Big East honorees in this one. Xavier led by Ariana Gray.
Ariana Gray, one of the top scorers and rebounders in the conference, 17 points per game in conference play. That's 4th in the conference. 3rd in rebounding, 8 rebounds per game. So they're gonna look to get her going. She's versatile. She's got speed off the dribble. She's their go-to on offense.
And for Villanova, the Wildcats powered by the Big East Freshman of the Year, one of the top scoring freshmen in the country in Maddie Siegrist.
2nd, as a matter of fact, 19 points per game, a 10-time Big East Freshman of the Week. That ties Maya Moore. Natalie Butler, her numbers have been outstanding, John. Just under 9 rebounds per game, 45% shooting from the field.
The Xavier Musketeers, a team that only has 3 wins on the season, but Melanie Moore preaching to them heading into this game that today is a new day. You're 0-0. And Ari Gray with nearly 16 points per game. Looking at the rest of the Xavier starters, Aaliyah Dunham is the one who sparks the backcourt. She really leads this team and their guard play. Dunham, the junior, accompanied by Lauren Wasselson, the sophomore, as well as Morgan Sharps, the freshman. Then Ayanna Townsend down low. And for Villanova, it's Gadeka and Siegrist, who combined for nearly 37 points per game. Mary Gadeka, the senior, and Maddie Siegrist getting the torch from her after this season as the leader of this program. Villanova in the whites, Xavier in the visiting blues. Ed Silasky, Frank Sterator, and Crystal Appelens, our veteran officiating crew, as we are ready to roll from Chicago. Villanova leads the all-time series between these two teams, 14-1. But Xavier head coach Mel Moore has brought new energy to this program and said, hey, we're gonna come here treating this like our championship game as Villanova wins the tap, and we're underway.
Xavier opening up in a 2-3 zone. John, you have to be careful because there are some talented three-point shooters. Maddie Siegrist being the best of them.
Villanova averaging nearly 9 threes a game. Herlihy left open. Gray with the board. This Xavier team, they started their season with a statement win over Utah. And that got the energy going. But like we saw in the first game, you said it, it takes a lot of maturity to win consistently in the Big East. Herlihy unafraid, but she's 0 for 2 to start as Wasselson comes up with the board.
Bridget Herlihy, their 2nd threat from three-point land after Siegrist shooting at about 31% on the season, but they want to make sure they don't settle too much for outside looks against the zone.
Townsend couldn't get that one to go. Melanie Moore playing with size today with Gray and Townsend.
They're one of the biggest front courts in the Big East. Villanova usually goes 4 out, 1 in.
Gadeka on the back down, and the senior gets the Wildcats started.
How many times have we seen that throughout her 4-year career, John? Her field goal percentage has been so high throughout the course of her career, at about 50% this season, but she just does such a good job of establishing deep position in the paint.
Townsend responds.
That was a strong take to the left from the top of the key. Nice job of having a couple power dribbles right to the rim.
Redshirt freshman, injured last year. Segrist off on the three. Here's Aaliyah Dunham. This year, when she has led the Musketeers in scoring, the performance has totally changed. Had over 20 points in a win at Georgetown. Melanie Moore saying that her junior point guard just has to be assertive. Wildcats trying to break through this 2-3 zone. Gadeka off this time.
That's 3 early looks for Villanova from 3. They can shoot it well at times, but you want to make sure you're primarily starting off the game by attacking this Xavier zone.
Here's Gray, the All Big East selection, way off this time.
And Villanova would love for her to do that all day. She's made some shots from 3 this season, just 1 of 10 from 3 in last week's 2 games.
Segrist fouled down low by Townsend. With more on Mel Moore, here's our sideline reporter, Ashley Liotis.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, Mel Moore, the newcomer in the Big East, against head coach Harry Peretta, the veteran in the league. But we're taking a look here at Xavier. We're keeping an eye on Ariana Gray, of course. She is 35 points away from 1,000 career points. Now, she didn't play in that second game against Villanova earlier this season, but the first game she was a pretty big factor with 20 points and 10 rebounds, that double-double there. So we're going to be keeping an eye on her, watching her exactly how much of a factor she is here and exactly how Villanova is going to be able to defend against her. Guys.
You got to stop Ari Gray. Thanks, Ashley. This time they stopped Townsend. You think about this Villanova team. They may be the 7th seed, but they were in a 5-way tie for 3rd place and believe they could be the dark horse this week.
All right, this is unprecedented for the Big East Conference. Beautiful pick and roll there from Dunham to Gray. But this is a 7th-seeded Villanova team who just 2 weeks ago knocked off both Marquette and DePaul, who had been ranked number 12 in the nation at that time, John.
What a magical weekend it was. Harry Peretta's final home weekend at the Finneran Pavilion, knocking off 2 NCAA tournament teams. And to beat Doug Bruno and DePaul on the final home game. Bruno bringing his players back out to recognize Peretta. Really speaks to the camaraderie of the league as Townsend is called for the illegal screen. What are you seeing early?
Well, Villanova starting to attack that zone a little bit better on the last possession.
Wildcats just 1 for 7 from the field. Without a 3 as Sharp steps in and comes up with a steal. Sharps for 3. A battle for it. It'll go back to Villanova. Let's send it over to Megan Caffrey.
Thanks, John. Well, in talking with head coach Harry Peretta, John, you had mentioned at the top of the broadcast how Mary Gadeka and Maddie Segrist combined for just under 37 points a game, but his role players are going to become very important, especially here in tournament play. He talked about the performance of Cameron Onken, telling me, well, Cameron shows up to practice, and you know you're going to get the work ethic and the consistency from her with the work that she puts in every day, but seeing points from her, like Bridget Herlihy as well, is going to be important coming down to this tournament.
Herlihy just slaying it in. Thanks very much, Megan. To your point, Villanova's won 10 straight games when Herlihy's in double figures.
And she's really emerged in the latter part of Big East Conference play, because for a while there, it was really just Segrist and Gadeka, who you could get anywhere between 30 and 40 from them combined, but Herlihy has really emerged as the 3rd scorer on this Wildcats team.
We'll see if she continues to emerge. Herlihy, Segrist, and Gadeka with a bucket each. Villanova up by 2 in the Big East tournament.
You're watching Xavier Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Welcome back to the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep. Harry Perretta in his 42nd season, his final year at the helm at Villanova. And there's a great piece from Elizabeth Merrill today, the ESPN senior writer, who did an interview with Harry last week, also talked with Creighton head coach Jim Flannery. Harry's final weekend in the Big East during the regular season was at Creighton and at Providence. So what did he do, Kim, in his final trip to Omaha? He went to Spencer's Steakhouse, got a 24-ounce porterhouse, was in sweatpants the whole time, and ate that porterhouse with his bare hands at the very end. He took that thing down to the bone.
That is a savage move. I can't imagine him doing that. I can imagine you doing it, but I can't imagine Harry Perretta.
It made me feel a lot better about myself. Not only that, as Gray is rejected out of the timeout, he's a Renaissance man, and the feature talks all about that. Shot clock violation forced by the Wildcats. This is a guy who 2 months out of college took the job at Villanova, was given a check for $2,500
for the year.
For the year to do the job. It was a part-time position. He taught 8th graders also while coaching the women's basketball team at Villanova. He taught 8th graders at a local school.
That's for the love of the game right there.
Yes.
But look how it panned out. 42 years later, he's still on the sidelines.
2020 win seasons. His Cats likely heading to the WNIT. Herlihy for three. They got an open look. It'll stay with Villanova as the shot clock resets to 20. And an epic Big East tournament moment came in 2003, 17 years ago now, when the Wildcats beat UConn at the rack. UConn's 70-game winning streak came crashing down in this tournament.
And we heard Gino Auriemma not specifically reference that, but reference some big losses he's had to Villanova in that tribute video that was really nicely done prior to this game.
You played in the Big Five. You know all too well about Coach Perretta.
Oh yeah, you always knew when you played Villanova it was going to just be an ugly slugfest game with the style they played to really wear you down in the half court. And you always knew it was going to be a battle and that they were just going to be incredibly disciplined and well coached.
Offensive foul called on Courtney Pranger, the freshman. Ashley Gomez, the senior, checking in. Gomez was huge for Xavier in a late season win over Providence, scoring in double figures. Villanova 0 for 5 from 3 against the Xavier 2-3 zone.
The possession hasn't gone inside of the three-point line. That's the first dribble right there from Cameron Onken inside the three-point line.
So Melanie Moore throwing a curveball here.
Yeah, I saw them. I had their game at Seton Hall last weekend, and they played primarily a 2-3 zone against the Pirates, bringing it out again here today.
Townsend with the strong finish.
She has been impressive early. I've liked how aggressive she's been attacking the paint. She's got a height advantage inside.
Received a medical red shirt after the season-ending injury last season, and they really felt that she could be a big proponent of this team as Raven James hits the Wildcats' first three.
I tell you, Raven James hits a couple big shots a game. She only shoots 28% from 3, but it always seems like she hits a shot in a big moment late in games. We'll see if she does that again here today.
She hit the go-ahead 3 for Villanova in a win at Georgia. Then in Big 5 play, came up huge at Seton Hall as well. Townsend, who's been hot, short this time.
Xavier really pushing them out with this zone. There's a lot of space open on the back side of that zone, John.
That's the 4th Cats turnover. This Villanova team, always known for the way they take care of the ball. This year, that's been a bit of an Achilles heel. Gomez with the fake. Unsettled jumper. Segrist. And both these teams have started cool.
That's where I think Segrist could still get a little better. As incredible as she's been, I think the next step for her is to improve her decision-making a little bit. That one, a nice cut, but when she landed, there were a couple defenders there. So that's where you want to kick that one out. I think that is the next step in her already incredibly impressive game.
Already breaking the Villanova single-season record for points by a freshman as Dunham hits the runner. And breaking that record, which was set by Shelley Pennefather, who's arguably the best player in Villanova program history. It tells you how good of a season Segrist has put up. Herlihy.
Now Villanova starting to attack the inside of that zone, and that was a nice read from Gadeka, who caught it in the middle of the paint, and then Bridget Herlihy with good recognition on the back cut.
That's that opening you've been talking about.
That's it. You got to attack the middle of the zone for things to open up.
Gomez, no, but Townsend got the board, and she was altered by Segrist. Segrist with the sharp pass to Herlihy. About a 9-second difference between shot and game clock. Gadeka pulls. And Xavier can hold it for the final shot if they'd like. Dunham fouled by Gardler. They had fouls to give. Villanova, just their first team foul of the quarter.
We're seeing the impact of Aaliyah Dunham, junior point guard, and her ability to create off of the dribble and open things up for her teammates by getting into the paint off of dribble penetration.
Dunham pulls it out. Xavier just 4 for 15 in this opening quarter. Dunham crossover. Dunham pulls. Just off. Battle for the rebound, and we get a jump ball possession arrow with the Musketeers with 1.5.
This is where you hopefully have a set. They're going to put Ari Gray back in the game to maybe just lob it up to her right in the middle of the paint for a quick catch and shoot, or out into the corner.
Well, they go to Gray with 1.5. Deflected by Segrist, now 0.9, and they'll have it side out. Interesting angle to inbound from Kim.
Yeah, especially with 6'2" Segrist in front of you.
They faded into Townsend, who turns, and just off, although she got a good look. Villanova up by 3 after 1. The difference right now, Raven James from deep. And the Wildcats looking to extend Harry Peretta's run in the Big East tournament. We played one on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Villanova out to an 11-8 lead on Xavier after one quarter as we take a look at the Big East tournament bracket. Providence advancing past Georgetown. The Friars and DePaul will play tomorrow in the quarterfinals, the first of 4 games on FS2. I want to challenge you here, though, Kim Adams. Who could be the team that emerges outside of the top 2 seeds?
Ooh, outside of the top 2. There's so many. I could say Seton Hall, I could say St. John's, I could say Creighton. I think that both of those games, 4-5 and 3-6, are going to be outstanding because they all have the same record in conference. They all tied for 3rd. So it's basically the 3rd place game times 2 in one day.
It's true.
Like I said earlier, I think there are about 5 different teams who I could see winning this entire tournament.
5 teams tying for 3rd place. Unprecedented in the Big East, 11-7 across the board. And that has led us here to a Villanova team that was in that 5-way tie, but finds itself playing in the first round. Townsend with the putback. It goes back to the Cats with more on Xavier. Here's Ashley.
Thanks, John. I was stepping in on that huddle. Head coach Mel Moore pointed directly to Ariana Gray. She said, I have seen better out of you. You are one of the top rebounders in this league. You have to play with a chip on your shoulder and stop settling. She said she needs to come up with that, someone to come out with that fight and that belief for them to get this win against Villanova today. Guys.
Thanks, Ashley. I love that from coach. Just getting in the face of your top player and challenging her. This is the moment where you need to give our team what you've done all season. And she did have a tough last weekend against St. John's and Seton Hall last weekend. And I love that report, Ashley. Coach Moore getting right into her face of the best player on the team.
Ashley Lyotis, Megan Caffrey bringing their A-game to this Big East tournament on the sidelines as they always do as Morgan Sharps finishes. Well, you know, Xavier's the 10 seed, but this is a new era for the program. And you talk with people around the Musketeers, there's a lot of excitement for the Mel Moore era. They just picked up a 4-star transfer, and the recruiting has progressed already in Cincinnati.
But you can just tell she has rejuvenated the energy of this program, and talking to people around their team, it's just a completely different vibe this season.
Gadake on the break. It will stay with Villanova. The Musketeers have not won a Big East tournament game since 2015. Trying to change that here today. These two teams played a 1-point game in Cincinnati a few weeks ago. Villanova finding a way. Gadeka and Herlihy willing them. Gadeka double, got her own miss, and the senior puts it back.
They're laying the defense on Mary Gadeka early. Ariana Gray on her, drawing a double team. A wild attempt, but then able to go back up after it on the offensive glass.
Gadeka, an all Big East first team selection. She and Segrist both on the first team. Sharps can't hit the three. This is the third time in program history they had two all Big East first teamers. Talking with Mel Moore before the game, she said, we've got to keep them under 35 points combined. Seven on the shot clock. Brooke Mullen blocked. Gross stood in.
The Xavier zone continues to keep Villanova way out on the perimeter.
That was pretty from Dunham to Gray.
And that's what Coach Moore wants from Ariana Gray. She's as athletic and as fast as anybody in this conference, and that time taking advantage of it to get that nice over-the-top touchdown pass.
Gray, a Cleveland native.
I know another one of those, sitting right to my left.
Raven James with the two Villanova threes. Thompson tangled with Onken and a traveling violation call. There's the defense that Cameron Onken brings.
She brings so much to this team, John. She doesn't score very much, just about 3.5 points per game, but she's their second leading rebounder. 7 rebounds per game. She assists. And she's coming off just the second triple-double in Villanova history against DePaul.
James has the hot hand. That one nearly went. Rebound to Wasselson. What would you like to see adapt from Xavier's offense?
I think they've had success early when Dunham has been able to get into the paint. I think spacing is very important for them. They can get crowded at times.
A double team down low. It's back out to Sharps, the freshman, trying to get by Gadeka, and a foul is called on the senior. Just her first.
And Sharps, a little bit of a circus shot there, but Mary Gadeka clearly getting her on the arm. That's where you just want to be straight up and stay vertical, because there's maybe a 1 in 10 chance that that crazy windmill shot would ever go in.
Sharps hitting both. A back and forth start here in Chicago. We saw a 3-point game to start the day. Providence finding a way past Georgetown, led by Alyssa Geary.
And we've seen some struggles from shooting early as these teams adapt to the arena, adapt to the rims.
Segrist extra pass to James. 7 on the shot clock here. Segrist, the Big East freshman of the year, just long this time, and a foul going for the rebound. Onken got hit. It's on Xavier. Foul on Wasselson. What's that adjustment process like when you're playing in a building you haven't played in before and you're trying to figure things out?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't really even practiced here much. You get such a limited warm-up time. The backdrops are a little bit different than you're used to. So sometimes in a situation like that, you want to start in close a little bit, and then as you get more confident, start backing it up. We saw some struggles from 3 in that first matchup. We're seeing some struggles from 3 in this game, just a combined 2 for 16 for both teams.
They've come out cold. Herlihy, some hesitation. Couldn't finish. for Xavier. Melanie Moore's talked about her team needing to be shot ready. Ari Gray off on that runner. She's now 2 for 6 from the field.
Gray just needs a little softer touch on that shot. She's so good at using her speed to get to where she wants to be, but then you need to soften it up when you go up on the release.
How about the ball movement? Gadeka puts it back. The senior's got 6.
Right place, right time. Sometimes a little bit of luck for the senior. Didn't have to do much work on that one.
She came up at that right time, and as the daughter of Lisa Angelotti, who we'll hear from later, Townsend with the and 1. And the Musketeers back within 2. Ayanna Townsend, the redshirt freshman, with 6 points. She'll go to the line for one more after the break. Xavier and Villanova in a tight affair. You're watching the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament, presented by Chief.
You're watching Xavier Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
John Fanta, Kim Adams, Megan Caffrey, Ashley Lyotis with you from Chicago. Day 1 of the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament, driven by Jeep. 2-point game here between Villanova and Xavier. Kim, we've talked about how the postseason can bring out a different player. Well, thus far, Ayanna Townsend switched it up to another gear.
Oh yeah, she has been impressive. She's actually already above her season averages, John. She has 6 points and 6 rebounds early in this game. She averages 5 points and 4 rebounds per game. And she's already scored more points than she had in the last meeting with Villanova. She only had 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting in that game. So Ayanna Townsend, redshirt freshman, has absolutely brought it in the opening minutes of this first round game.
Highly touted recruit under Brian Neal and his staff. Now we've got an over-the-back foul on Gray. Fortunately for her, it's just her first. I'll tell you, 2 of the best post players in this conference this year. Ariana Gray of Xavier, Mary Baskerville for Providence. The foul trouble has been such a theme.
It has. Baskerville, she got hurt in the second half of that game, but in the first half, she had 2 fouls within about 2 minutes of the game. Only averages 20 minutes per game on the season. There just has to be such a discipline that you have to learn over the course of the season, what's being called and what isn't.
Kick ball called on Sharps. So shot clock back to 20. Maddie Segrist without a field goal for Villanova thus far. She's 0 for 7. Herlihy thought about it. Now 8 on the shot clock. Segrist on the drive. There's her first field goal.
And I was just going to say that, John, when you said she's 0 of 7, I think sometimes she can settle a little bit from deep, but she hasn't shot the ball exceptionally well from 3 in conference play. I think she's just such a tougher matchup when she's taking you off the dribble from the perimeter.
Harry Peretta has said, in terms of a triple threat player, Siegrist is as impressive as he's coached as Gray twirled that up and in.
And that was as impressive as of an O board and putback as I've seen. That was acrobatic, falling to the ground, but still laying it high up on the glass.
Onken travels. Let's take another glance at this one.
Ariana Gray with John Fanta-like control and athleticism. That was impressive. On the leaner. She learned that from you, 2 Cleveland natives.
That's right. With 1 foot, that's a horse shot right there.
Have we ever played horse?
Yes.
We have?
You know what? No, we haven't.
I don't think we have. I think we need to run it.
I'm actually pretty good at it, so because it requires no running. Townsend. Maybe a round is in store this weekend with Sarah Kustok.
And Lisa Byington, too.
She played at Northwestern. Sarah at DePaul. Herlihy, strong.
That was strong. That was impressive. Bridget Herlihy, we've talked about how she's really become the X factor for this team, the 3rd scorer, a big part of a lot of their wins. She's attacking confidently.
And a timeout called by Xavier.
Bridget Herlihy just right around Ariana Gray, and then a good job of getting her body squared up to the backboard and have that tough finish, even though the help was coming at her.
You see that stat about Herlihy. Villanova 10-2 when she hits 10 points, and they've won 10 in a row. Herlihy already with 6 today. Gross. Got it to go.
Xavier's starting to find some more openings now against the Villanova defense. A nice job coming from the opposite side of the lane and just curling in to the basket by Gross.
A near turnover. James keeps it alive. Herlihy again, the senior. Off on this one. Xavier with a chance to tie or take the lead. They haven't led in this game. Gonna go back to Villanova. A quick half here. Neither one of these teams fouls much. Let's start with Villanova. What would you say if you're Harry Peretta in the locker room?
I think they've been at their best when they are attacking this zone off the dribble, as we've seen Bridget Herlihy do a bunch, but now they need some other players to start doing that as well.
Gadeka the ball fake. Taken away by Gross. Melanie Moore says Gross is the defensive presence for this team. The sophomores brought it today. Gray on the take. About an 8-second difference between shot and game clock. James off to Gadeka. Over the top and 1 for the senior.
What a setup by Raven James. Almost that secondary fast break there. There were Xavier players back in transition defense, but Gadeka just filling that opposite lane. And a beautiful find by Raven James, throwing that cross-court pass.
Mary Gadeka has a look in her eyes right now that she doesn't want to go out on her Big East career with a first-round loss. Wants to keep Harry Peretta in this tournament. The winner of this game facing 2-seeded Marquette tomorrow. And Kim, as you've said, that is not a typical 2-7 quarterfinal.
No, Villanova just beat Marquette recently and has the record of the number 3 seeded team. So that is Not quite the reward that first-year head coach Megan Duffy was expecting when she landed the number 2 seed.
A foul on Herlihy as Onken comes back in. Villanova still with a foul to give. Xavier has only shot 30%, 0 for 6 from 3. 8 on the clock and another foul. This one on Mullen. That was their final foul to give. Where do you go now if you're Mel Moore?
I think you got to attack inside. Townsend not in the game right now, but I would give it to Ari Gray off the dribble, but she has to know when to pull up and not get too far into the help.
Bree Wager comes in for Villanova. 5 seconds left for Dunham. Pulls up. Got it. And that'll do it for the first half. A 3-point game after 1 quarter, a 2-point game at the break. These two teams basically even. A tight one through 20 minutes. You're watching the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament, presented by Jeep.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts to solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
You're watching Villanova Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Villanova 24, Xavier 22 at the half here from Wintrust Arena. The Wildcats in Harry Peretta's final season have a special all-in-the-family story on their team. That's because Mary Gadeka, who's 7th all-time in program history in scoring with 1,531 points, she's combined with her mother, Lisa, for 3,153 points and well over 1,500 career rebounds. Mary, now a senior, has been joined at the hip by her mom, Lisa Angelotti, at every single Villanova game this season. This mother-daughter duo is as good as any you'll see in women's college basketball history, and our own Megan Caffrey is now joined by Mary's mom, Lisa.
Thanks, John. Well, Lisa, John just mentioned it leading into this, that you have been at Mary's games all throughout this season especially. You look over when you're watching you, and you get so into the game, standing up, cheering for your daughter. How much fun is it to cheer on Mary?
It's a blast, and I told her I'm not going to miss a game. I coached back in my high school in New Jersey, and I said I'm not missing a game. I just love this. This is a privilege. I always say to play Division I basketball is a privilege, and it's an honor, and I'm just savoring every moment, playing every pass, every dribble with Mary this whole season, and I couldn't be prouder of her.
How much of the moment are you savoring here today at Mary's final Big East tournament as a senior, and also kind of you tie it in with Coach Peretta's final Big East tournament that he's coaching in. You were coached underneath him as well. How is that an added layer into all the emotions you're feeling this weekend?
It is. It's incredibly emotional, just knowing this is Mary's last Big East tournament, and how great it is that Harry is retiring the same year that my daughter's a senior. And Harry's a great friend of mine. He's a great motivator. He's great passion for the game. And to be here and to watch his every game, every move, it's been an honor. But it is emotional. And I know Mary is thinking about it a little bit, but I think the task at hand right now is to make some shots in the second half.
Well, speaking of shots, you were a shot getter back in your day, 1988 Big East Player of the Year, 5th all-time in scoring. Mary's right behind you at 7th all-time in scoring. What has she learned from you?
Well, I think she's learned to play hard. I think, every kid coming into high school thinks they play hard and they don't. And I think that was my #1 priority for Mary, is to teach her to always play hard and enjoy the game, respect the game, and just if you give it your all, you can walk away after each game and say, okay, I gave it my all, now on to the next game. But it was great coaching her. I prefer being in the stands, being able to cheer her on, because as a coach, you're really worried about the whole team. And I really never watched Mary play until she got to college. But she's done a great job. I'm so proud of her, and I think the team has been tremendous all year.
Well, Lisa, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with the second half after this.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together! This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
You're watching Xavier Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We've already had one possession game in the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep. Could we be in for another? Well, halfway through, Xavier and Villanova are in just that. John Fanta, Kim Adams with you as we look back at game 1 of the day. It was Providence who bolted out to an 11-point lead behind Alyssa Geary.
Alyssa Geary really dominated both ends of that game, John, and Providence was out to a big lead. Kayla Webb knocking down a 3, but then Georgetown and its seniors really fought their way back. We were down to a 1-possession game in the closing seconds, and again, Providence was without their leading scorer and rebounder, Mary Baskerville, for much of that game due to foul trouble and then an injury. But at the end of the day, the Friars able to make it happen. They will move on to the quarterfinals tomorrow afternoon.
Taylor Barnes, one off her career high with 25 points. She kept willing Georgetown. Andrea Cooper with a late bucket, and Providence gutting it out defensively. Coach Crawley was really happy with what they did there, and Alyssa Geary delivering 15 points. What a performance by the sophomore. Providence will meet DePaul at 1 Eastern time tomorrow, noon Central on FS2. John Fanta, Kim Adams with you. So looking at this first half between Villanova and Xavier, 2-point game. The Xavier 2-3 zone certainly had Villanova trying to sort through it. What do you see the final 20 minutes coming down to?
Well, it's been an interesting battle. Both of these teams, you look at the stats, rebounding is pretty even, points in the paint is pretty even. I think Villanova needs to get Maddie Segrist going. She's got just 4 points on 1 of 8 shooting, so I think they want to see her attack a little bit more. And then Xavier, they're gritty under first-year head coach Melanie Moore. They defend. So for them, it's just going to be about getting a little bit more offensive production because they've been strong defensively, John.
If you're surprised at all, the last meeting between these two teams at the Cintas Center was decided by just 1 point. And Melanie Moore, the Xavier head coach, felt like playing Villanova could be beneficial for the Musketeers because that's the style of games Villanova plays.
Right, and in that 1-point loss, they didn't even have Ariana Gray in that one, their leading scorer, their leading rebounder. So that kind of gives them the confidence in this first round game. We can beat this team. They know they were right there with them at home. And at this point, it comes down to execution and paying attention to personnel and the scout. They've done a great job on Segrist so far.
The 10th seed in the Big East tournament since 2013 is 1-5. But Melanie Moore said, throw those statistics out. Her energy and her team's energy is made up for it thus far. A 2-point game. Popcorn?
I'm starving. All I've had is a bagel that I remember to eat 3 hours after I got it. So I could use anything right now.
Second half coming up. We're going to grab Kim a snack. You're watching the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep. 2-point game between Nova and X.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
You're watching Xavier Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Villanova looking to keep Harry Peretta's Big East tournament run going. This is his 66th Big East tourney game, and the Wildcats are up 24-22 on Xavier heading into this second half. John Fanta, Kim Adams with you. Our sideline reporters Megan Caffrey and Ashley Lyotis have been talking to the coaches coming back out to the floor. Xavier will have the basketball here. Both teams shot 10 for 31 in the first half. The difference, Villanova with 2 threes. Xavier 0 for 6 from downtown. Let's send it to Ashley.
Hey guys, I was inside of the locker room there with Xavier, and just hearing from head coach Mel Moore address her team, the first words that she said inside of that locker room were, "Nice job." She said a lot of strategizing there. They really want to create some offensive lanes for themselves, but she ended it by saying, hey guys, take this 5 minutes at a time, be calm, cool, and confident.
Maddie Segrist with the putback. And that's the biggest part of it for Xavier, Kim. This is a program that has struggled in recent years. Melanie Moore felt like that it was just key for them this season to try to get the right mentality.
Yeah, and that's, you know, when you're trying to rebuild something else, you've got a new coach, you've got some young pieces, some transfers, and it takes time to put everything together and to learn how to close close games out.
.12 on the shot clock here for Herlihy, the senior, doubled. James with it with 5, and they throw it away.
You have to move the ball faster against that zone. They're making one pass and standing. When they have numbers, you want to just rip that ball around the perimeter. They're making it too easy on Xavier.
What about the dribble penetration?
And they didn't do much of that either. There, anytime you're playing a zone, the last thing you want to do is just pass it around the perimeter.
Gray had her shot altered by Herlihy. Bridget Herlihy has really brought it on both ends.
She's got an impressive skill set, and I think this year we're seeing her more confident, and she's seen the impact that she has personally in the wins and loss columns for her team.
Couldn't hit the corner 3. Now with more on Villanova, let's send it to Megan.
A possession with another Villanova turnover. That wasn't what Coach Peretta wanted to see. He pointed out half with 7 turnovers in the first. He said a lot of them were unforced errors. He did point out, however, his defense was keeping them on the game. He wants to see more of that in the second half.
Ariana Gray showing her range. She's got 8 points. Ariana Gray really working with this Xavier coaching staff. She had averaged nearly a double-double last year as Xavier turns it over, forces the turnover rather, and Dunham finishes. And the Musketeers have tied this game.
Right now the Musketeers are dictating this game with their defense. Villanova just doesn't look comfortable. They're not reacting to where the defense is.
Onken off on the three. Segrist with the board. The freshman cannot hit. Gray comes up with it. Xavier has not led in this game. Segrist with the strip. Gadeka down to Segrist, but stripped away by Sharps.
Little sloppy right now, John, for both teams. Both teams just need to take a deep breath, settle in a little bit, value the ball.
Dunham, crossover, silky smooth, just couldn't hit the three. Townsend with the board, and Townsend is fouled. She'll go on the line to try to give the Musketeers the advantage.
Ayanna Townsend has been the most impressive Xavier player so far in this game, John. Townsend has just had a toughness about her this afternoon. She's really attacking the glass, using her physicality, her strength to get fouled, get to the free throw line.
With the way Townsend is starting to produce, and the fact that you've got Ariana Gray back next year, you've got the potential to be a really lethal duo in the paint.
And then you see number 0 who just checked in, Sarah Leindecker at 6'4". Transferred in, sat out last year, was out a couple of games with an injury. So they certainly have a lot of size if they can learn how to really get those pieces to play well together and play off of each other.
All underclassmen. 8 on the shot clock. Villanova struggling offensively here. Herlihy from distance, way off. Back to the Musketeers.
Villanova, they're just settling right now. They're settling for this zone. They're not attacking whatsoever. They're getting pushed out, and they're Havoc players who don't shoot the three very well, just throwing up prayers. Cameron Onken, 23% from 3 on the season.
We talked about Melanie Moore's strategy, keeping the Villanova duo of Gadeka and Segrist under 30, 35 points. Leyendecker off this time, but right now that one goes, and one for Gross.
Xavier wants the ball more than Villanova right now, John, on both ends. They're going after the ball harder. They're getting the 50-50 balls. Carrie Gross, the sophomore, another talented underclassman on this Musketeers roster, making the big-time play.
Xavier called this their championship game because they're the 10 seed, and the likelihood of you crashing the party and beating a 2 seed, it's not high. Well, right now, that urgency is translating.
And I think you're seeing that nothing to lose mentality. They're playing free, they're playing relaxed, and they're playing harder than Villanova is right now.
Gadeka, and one for the senior over Gross. She'll go on the line to tie it.
And that was a rare possession in this second half where they attacked inside, where they fed it into the post, where Mary Gadeka statistically is one of the top shooters percentage-wise that this conference has ever seen. That's the first time they fed it into her to start this second half.
Even at 29. I'll tell you what, partner, we talked about how tight this conference was in the regular season. These 2 tournament games have been just as tight.
Yep, I wouldn't expect anything else, given how everybody was beating each other and the lower seeds have been in tight games.
We are even at 29. A new era of Xavier women's basketball, and Melanie Moore has these Musketeers giving Villanova all the Wildcats can handle.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up.
Villanova and Xavier all squared away at 29. And Mary Gadeka and Maddie Segrist have combined for 17 points, but it's come with them taking 22 shots combined, 7 for 22 from the field. Why have they struggled?
Well, I wouldn't say Mary Gadeka has struggled, John. She's 5 of 10, so she's 50%, but she's had more success getting the ball inside. Maddie Segrist, they've done a good job of trailing her and following her around the floor, and I'd like to see them really work her inside as well, because you see it right there. She's 6'1", 6'2". She doesn't need to be settling for threes. I'd like to see them feed it into her just like they've been feeding it in to Gadeka.
Xavier with the size to combat it. Ariana Gray, Sarah Leyendecker, 6 feet or taller, with Townsend as well, completing the trio in the paint. And they've made Villanova work for getting paint touches.
What impresses me about the Xavier zone is their hands. All 5 players always have hands up and active hands in talking.
Onken, and a foul going for the rebound. Wasselson and Segrist got tangled up. It's on Segrist.
John, that's now 2 of 15 from 3 for Villanova. You go back to that 1-point win in the Cintas Center a couple weeks ago. Villanova was 8 of 33
wow.
from 3. They just can't keep settling for these outside shots.
Gray could not hit. Another battle for it. And Xavier with the hustle gets it back.
Every 50-50 ball is going to the Musketeers.
Gray will head to the line, fouled by Gadeka. For more on Xavier's defense, here's Ashley.
Thanks, guys. Kim, I heard you talking about you're impressed with their hands up there for Xavier on defense. Ironically, that's all head coach Melmore has been preaching in those last few huddles, those last few timeouts. She said, get your hands up. That's when they struggle, when we are active on defense.
Thank you, Ashley. But yeah, I mean, you can tell the impact she's made in year 1. It's not easy to get a program to buy into what you want to do defensively in year 1. And we're seeing the impact of that in another 50-50 hustle play ball in the way of the Musketeers.
Leyendecker travels. But you had 3 opportunities there on one trip. Don't call them a 10 seed, folks. This Xavier team has brought it to Chicago.
You didn't bring me the popcorn.
No, I didn't.
You promised me.
I did not. There's a 3, a much needed one for Villanova. Gardler.
Much needed is right. 3 of 16 now. Mackenzie Gardler, redshirt freshman off the bench, getting it to drop.
Gray with the spin. What a finish.
And that's where she needs to do her work, because at times she likes to settle from the outside. She can knock down that 15-footer, but who's stopping that, John? The speed, the footwork, the finesse.
And now we've got some makes. Segrist from deep. Melanie Moore calls a timeout right away as Villanova 2 for 15 before that 3. They make 2 straight, and the lead is 4.
Villanova starting to heat up from 3, the first 3 of the day from the Big East Freshman of the Year, Maddie Segrist.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Back here in Chicago, 4-point game between Villanova and Xavier. The Wildcats finally starting to find a rhythm from three. And this is a team that relies on the three ball. They average right around 8 triples per game. Harry Peretta saying at times what we end up doing in a game is defined by if we can find complementary shooters to Segrist and Gadeka. Well, Mackenzie Gardler knocks one down, and now they're up by 4.
And sometimes they just need a little confidence to get going. And where they're at their best is when they're getting better looks from three, when they're moving the ball inside out, which they're starting to do a better job of, and working and getting that balance. They've had Gadeka inside, which forces the defense to put a little bit more attention there, and that opens up things from the arc.
Let's see what Mel Moore came up with in the timeout. Wasselson, Gray with the pull-up. Tough shot, and the junior hits, and that's why she's the first Musketeer to get multiple All-Big East selections out of any since 2013 when they joined the conference.
And that's a battle going on right now. Down low, Mary Gadeka on Ari Gray. Ari Gray getting some separation on that last jumper.
Gardler off this time.
And that was another possession where the ball never went in and out, John, just around the perimeter. Defense didn't have to shift or do any work.
Leyendecker on the back down. Fouled by Segrist. That's her second. So Sarah Leyendecker to the line. Her mom, Connie, played at Xavier from 1982 to 85. As you were talking about, transferring over from Akron. Out of Mother of Mercy High School in Cincinnati.
And they're happy to see her back in the lineup, John. She had missed 7 games with an injury, returned last weekend, started to put up close to her regular season numbers, and now I think we're starting to see her get a little bit more comfortable with where she was before that injury.
This is our 6th tie of the afternoon. The winner gets Marquette tomorrow. Segrist. Gardler with the board. That game will come at 7 Eastern time, 6 Central here in Chicago on FS2. A full marathon, the quarterfinals all day on Fox Sports 2 tomorrow. Gardler off again, and Leyendecker with the board.
Another possession, John, 2 possessions. Their offensive rebound, nobody attacked, nobody dribbled, nobody passed into the block. Outside shots, 4 of 20 now for Villanova.
Wasselson the fake. Mullen comes out with it. Harry Peretta's Big East tournament record, 32 and 33. 3 tournament titles in his tenure. Cats trying to find some separation here as that 3 doesn't go for Mullen, and now they're 4 for 21 from 3. Gray, in and out. Both teams in a scoring drought here. Gadeka, she can't hit. And we've got a foul on Wasselson. That's just the team's 2nd foul, though. So Villanova will have the inbounds.
Wasselson just coming from behind a little bit on that one, but another possession with just a a settled three-point look for the Wildcats. That's about 5 misses in a row from 3.
Little over 22-second difference between shot and game clock. James on the give and go. Extra pass to Onken. Way off. 2 seconds left. Siegrist can't get it. Gadeka tipped it back up and in.
Mary Gadeka, so crafty, a little volleyball influence there after another bunch of missed threes. Look what happens when you take a shot inside.
7 seconds left for Dunham. Gray for the tie. Way off. And that'll do it for quarter number 3. It was a 2-point game at the half. It's a 2-point game with 30 down. 10 to go. Villanova and Xavier in the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep.
You're watching Xavier Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts that solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
2-point game heading into the fourth quarter between Villanova and Xavier. What do the Musketeers need to do in these final 10 minutes?
Well, they need to stick to their defensive execution, which I think has been really strong. They've stuck with that 2-3 zone for this entire game. They've had high hands. They've limited Villanova to 4 of 23 shooting from three-point land, and they've done a really nice job on Maddie Siegrist, who has 9 points on just 3 of 15 shooting. So they cannot let her get hot. They need to keep her and Gadeka at bay. I believe Megan or Ashley reported that Coach Moore wanted to hold them to 35 points or less combined. Well, right now they have 22 together, 13 for Gadeka, 9 for Siegrist.
Xavier has not won a Big East tournament game in 5 years. In a one-possession affair. Heading into this fourth quarter as Dunham forces the turnover. The junior point guard looked at as a leader for this team. See that stat? Both teams struggling from beyond the arc today. 12 on the timer here. Now 7 for Gray. The All Big East honorable mention can't hit. Townsend with the board though. Dunham resets here with 12. Now 7 for Gray again with the runner.
That one, she was just kind of stuck in no man's land, had left her feet, was a little too far outside to make it a layup. You'd have to pull up and make it a true jump shot or take one more power dribble and get right to the basket.
Mary Gadeka with a double-double now with that rebound, now 14 for her career. Herlihy with 5, extra pass, Onken for 3. And these teams just continue to struggle from beyond the arc. Villanova now 4 for 24.
And that was a better possession because they went inside out, a couple of extra passes, but unfortunately it ended up in the hands of a 23% shooter instead of Segrist or even Gadeka.
Sharps all the way, even at 37. It bears noting now, at what point do you have to try to go a little bit away from who you are? Villanova's a three-point shooting team. When you're 4 for 24 though, Kim, how much do you rethink?
Well, I think coach has been preaching it to them. A shot like that is wide open. That's a good look, John. That's an open look that's off of inside-out movement. They have to be more selective in their threes, I would say. That's a higher percentage three where you force the defense to move.
Raven James 3 for 4 from 3. The rest of the team 2 for 21. James with 9 points now. Here's Gray, weaving her way and getting fouled. Let's see who they call it on. This one is on James, just her second.
Ariana Gray, when she gets going, she is just determined, and that's a bad foul for Segrist because we've talked about a couple of these where there's really no chance that shot is going in. She's off balance, she's falling away. She's got almost a windmill shot. So just stay vertical, and it's a low percentage shot if she's throwing that thing up over 2 defenders.
Yeah, excuse me, they're not on James, on Segrist. That is her third. Segrist with the board off that miss. Now she's got 9 rebounds, 9 points. Segrist just 3 for 15 today from the field. Now it's in the hands of Gadeka. Herlihy for 3. Tap back out, back to the Musketeers.
And another thing, John, with these threes, I've noticed a couple times on that possession, sometimes the Villanova players aren't ready to shoot. They're catching it standing straight up. That zone is coming at you quick. You have to be shot ready, you have to be low. And if you have an open look, you have to be ready to shoot it.
Xavier does not have a 3 today. Townsend doubled, doesn't matter. She got fouled. And the redshirt freshman back to the line for a pair as Gadeka commits her third.
Ayanna Townsend continues to be impressive. She's only played 24 minutes, but anytime she's been in the game, you see 100% physicality and 100% determination going up with the ball.
Townsend hits them both. 8 ties. We've only had 2 lead changes. His conference was tight all season long. The 5-way tie for 3rd, an RPI deciding a tiebreaker for 9th and 10th, and the tournament's living up to that. Segrist lost the ball. Back to the Musketeers.
They certainly have her flustered, John. The freshman, she's put up big numbers all season, but they have been all over her today, whether she's been out on the perimeter or putting the ball on the floor.
Now Segrist getting after it, able to save it, and a foul is called. Sharps cannot believe it. Hustle play by the freshman. These are the types of mistakes Melanie Moore did not want her team to make. And we've got a timeout taken by Villanova. They have 3 left. Xavier with 2 left. Down the stretch we come with a ticket to face Marquette in the quarterfinals tomorrow on the line.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts that solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room, people, for victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
Even at 40 apiece, with just over 6 minutes left. You take a look at some of the foul trouble here that we'll be monitoring, particularly Segrist and Gadeka. If they committed their fourth here soon, Kim, that would really be a headline.
Right, they have to be smart. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but certainly wouldn't want to get 2 quick ones. But what a situation we have here, John. We mentioned Villanova, an atypical 7 seed. Part of that 5-way tie for 3rd place in an absolute gridlock battle with the number 10 seed Xavier right now.
What do you see the final 6 minutes and change coming down to?
I think Villanova has 6 minutes to figure out how to attack this zone. You need to attack through the middle of it and find the openings behind that back line. And if they're shooting threes, they need to be off of ball movements and high percentage looks, not just force up a 3 because I feel like it.
Bridget Herlihy off the window. She's got 8.
There it is, attack inside. Herlihy can post, Segrist can post, Gadeka can post. Get the ball inside to them.
Coach Adams with the adjustment.
That sounds funny to me because my mom is Coach Adams. My mom was my high school coach.
The lovely Sue.
But
for more on Villanova, let's send it to Megan.
Thanks, John. Well, Coach Peretta was really animated in that huddle, talking to his team about their foul issue, saying, right now, we need to make Xavier earn their baskets. They're the ones who are making us earn our baskets. He said, stop reaching and make them earn their baskets, guys.
Really good stuff from the huddle, Megan. 10 seconds on the timer now. We'll see if they can avoid that foul. Gray searching now with 4. Gross stuck. Townsend couldn't get it off in time, and the Cats force a shot clock violation.
Now, John, those are mistakes that can't happen if you're trying to win a playoff game. Down the stretch, not knowing the shot clock, not knowing the game clock. Every player on the floor needs to be yelling that out. Every player on the bench needs to be yelling that out.
This Villanova team trying to extend Harry Peretta's run in the Big East to a matchup with Marquette tomorrow. Villanova took down Marquette just 2 weekends ago. Segrist left open. And the freshman continues her cool shooting. Now 3 for 16 from the field for the Big East Freshman of the Year. But Herlihy picks up the slack. And the senior moves into double figures. Villanova's won their last 10 games when Herlihy scores 10 points or more.
I think she's been the best player on the floor for Villanova tonight, John. They're finally attacking inside that zone with her, and she's been impressive on both ends.
Sharps, tough, could not get it to go, and the Cats have stepped up with some stops here as of late.
And it was Herlihy again with the length, altering that shot. Bridget Herlihy has been the X factor in this one, as she's been really all throughout conference play for the Wildcats.
This Villanova team second in the Big East, allowing just 59 points per game, and they're on track to do better than that here today. It's their style of gameplay. Gadeka with 5. Herlihy with 3. Bridget Herlihy, offensive foul, drawn by Townsend.
And we talked about Hurley on the Villanova side. Ayanna Townsend has maybe been the most impressive player on the Xavier side. She got to the spot, got outside the arc. She did turn a little bit to the side. But Coach Peretta telling Bridget, jump, stop, and pull up. Don't leave your feet. Don't go up on one leg, and your only option at that point is to go up with the layup and get the contact.
Xavier just 3 wins on the season. Closing games has been an issue. A near turnover. Now with 7 on the shot clock, it's Dunham. The junior guarded by James. Short on the jumper, Leyendecker, the putback, no. Gets it again, can't hit. Townsend will head to the line. She was fouled.
Woo, and again, John, we're talking about some of these moments for Xavier. As you're talking about, they've had trouble closing out close games. You have to convert, and maybe they will here at the free throw line, but you have to convert the first time. A point blank layup. If you want to win games, you want to get better as a program, you want to mature, these are the little plays you have to make.
Well said. That's why they pay you the big bucks. You tell it like it is without going overboard. 10 of 16 now. Xavier is from the free throw line. Townsend giving the Musketeers 2 much-needed freebies, and it's back to a 2-point game. We had a 3-point game to start the day. Providence will meet DePaul tomorrow. Siegrist from the corner. And the cool shooting day continues, but Gross is out of bounds.
Villanova got lucky on that one. They will get another shot here.
How about Maddie Siegrist, the Big East Freshman of the Year, nearly 20 points per game, and she's 3 for 17 today.
And I know I keep saying it, but she's continued to settle a lot from the outside. We haven't seen her attack off the dribble, and maybe that's credit to the Xavier zone, but I think she should have been a little bit more aggressive against it.
James has 3 threes on the day. This time hesitated, can't hit. Rebound by Dunham, and they can tie or take the lead here. It has basically been a 1 or 2 possession game for the last 20 minutes of game time.
And the game before that.
Tight the whole way. Gross is long on that jumper attempt. Xavier shot just 16 for 54.
I'd like to see them feed it into Mary Gadeka on the block on this one. She is so effective on that block.
10 on the shot clock. Gadeka's got it. She hoists and was fouled by Gross, and you cannot do that.
You can't. You can't, John. These are just the small things piling up here as this Xavier team looks to take that next step. You can't foul a 3-point shooter. She fouled her on the box out.
And so that means Mary Gadeka goes to the free throw line, hitting the first. Just the 5th and 6th free throw attempts for Villanova today. Gadeka, the 69% free throw shooter, goes 2 of 3 here. And so the lead back to 4 now. Xavier with 2 timeouts left. The next foul by Villanova puts Xavier in the bonus and to the free throw line. Gray, bumped by Gadeka and a foul. Gadeka with her 4th foul.
And that's big. Ariana Gray selling that in and out crossover. She loves to go right. If you're Villanova, you want to take away that right shoulder, cut off her driving lane, maybe draw a foul.
Free throw shooting, not a strong suit for Gray, only 60% from the line. Clutch. Villanova with the 3 timeouts. We'll see if Harry Peretta decides to pull one out here. Got them both. Cold-blooded from the junior. Here comes the press. Gadeka, so versatile to break it.
That's something Coach Peretta has stressed all season is he doesn't care who brings the ball up. He'll have Maddie bring it up, Gadeka, he'll call a timeout here, and that's something always teaching. Look at Coach Peretta, 42 years in the making. Never stops.
Even in year 42, this ride is not slowing down. This is not a roller coaster that's just cruising into the end. Harry Peretta wants to keep his stay in Chicago going. Mary Gadeka with her 7th double-double this season, 14 on her career now, 15 and 11 today, as the Cats are on the cusp. And if they can win, it would set up a date with Marquette tomorrow night. The Golden Eagles, the surprise in this conference. They were picked 9th in the Big East preseason poll, and they are the 2 seed.
John, I would go inside here. Gadeka inside, Herlihy inside. I wouldn't take a 3.
10 on the shot clock. Will they find that interior? 5 on the timer. Herlihy guarded by Dunham. Segrist. Shot clock violation forced by the Musketeers.
Again, is the Xavier zone pushing them out? Yes. Is Villanova doing enough to offset that, to counterattack that, to get inside? A lot of times in this game, they have not.
Here we go, folks. Gray with the spin. Header shot altered, and Villanova comes up with the stop. Still plenty of time. Neither one of these teams has made a field goal in the last 4 minutes. James, cold-blooded triple.
Xavier had no idea what they were doing on defense there. Everyone was standing around, pointing at each other, saying, where am I supposed to be? Where are you supposed to be? Villanova makes them pay.
Townsend can't hit. Stripped away, and the Cats come out with it. Herlihy was stripped. Dunham came up with it off the steal. Dunham rejected by Onken. Hello, welcome to March. And a timeout called by the Musketeers. Whoa.
This has been quite a series here. Cameron Onken letting the record reflect. We are not going home this afternoon.
Literally. Raven James has hit clutch shots all season long.
We called this, didn't we?
Yes.
Earlier in the game. We said she only shoots 27% from 3, but always seems to come through in a big time moment. Xavier was out of sorts defensively. Raven James just calmly stepping into her shot. That is her 4th 3 of the afternoon. Villanova has just 6. She's got 4 of them.
James is 4 of 5 from 3. The rest of the team is just 2 for 25. So now they need a bucket. Gray again, not the shot you want. Wasselson gets it back, can't hit. Townsend goes up, and we're gonna get a jump ball. Possession arrow with Xavier, so they'll try again. And you're talking about a team that's 0 of 9 from 3. So hitting something from beyond the arc is unlikely.
I would go to Townsend. Gray has not been effective, 6 of 22. Everything is leaning away from the basket for her.
Sharps The freshman can't hit. Townsend puts it back in. 12.8 seconds left. Timeout Villanova. They'll advance the ball. They have one left.
Ayanna Townsend, she has been the one keeping her team in this game all afternoon. Getting the strong putback. Villanova timeout. They will advance it. And for Villanova, all they need to do right now is inbound the ball, come meet passes. They are going to get fouled, but Xavier right now just 2 fouls, John. So they're going to have to foul right away 3 times in order to get Villanova to the line.
If you're Villanova, you try to get it to Segrist or Raven James here because they're 2 free throw shooters who are over 77% on the season. Villanova as a team only 69% from the line. Each team with 1 timeout left. Possession arrow is with Villanova. Xavier with 2 fouls to give. Gadeka's trapped, almost had it taken from her, but they call the foul on Dunham. That's only her first.
Looks like Harry Preda may be inbounding there. He's so close to Onken.
He wants this one. Wants a quarterfinal date. Onken looking. They got 1 timeout left. And that's the last foul available to give. It's on Townsend. That is her 4th. 10.9. Another 1-possession game in the Big East tournament, as now it looks like the officials are going to talk about something. And now they bring everybody back out. They had to reset the clock.
Added .2.
Yeah, you never know how crucial that could be. All right, 11.1. Onken is the inbounder. It looks like everybody's discussed and we can play. Segrist on the catch and was literally pushed to the deck. A foul. That one is on Townsend. And that's her 5th foul.
Yeah, that's one you could argue maybe a little intentional there. You can't really bear hug a player, John.
She did, and that'll send Segrist, the 2nd best free throw shooter for Villanova, to the line. Now, it bears noting, Segrist is 3 for 18 from the field today.
2 of 2 from the line.
She missed it. Xavier has a timeout, so they can advance the ball, whether this is a make or a miss, and get set. She missed them both. Timeout, Xavier. They can try to tie it.
Wow. What a turn of events, John. Maddie Segrist, who has been so good.
You're 3 of 18 from the field, and you're the one taking the free throws. James is the one who's been hot today.
Or even your senior, Mary Gadeka. Here we go.
All right, so let's go into the Xavier huddle now.
Well, Xavier's down 3, John, and they have not hit a 3 today. They are 0 of 9. So who are they going to set this up for? Or do you go for a quick 2? I would go for a 3.
I think you got to go for the 3, but if you're Villanova, would you foul?
That's always the call. I wouldn't foul because Xavier is 0 of 9 on the day. I would trust your defense and let them play out the possession for Xavier. Top 3-point shooter percentage-wise is Aaliyah Dunham. In terms of most makes on the season is Morgan Sharps, the freshman. So you have to screen well here. Screening is so important to get the initial look.
The irony of the Musketeers not having a 3 today and needing one to tie this game is amazing.
This is March, baby.
This is
Here
March.
we go.
All right. Wasselson is the inbounder. Can they find that shooter, or will Villanova foul? Dunham with 7, guarded by Herlihy. 4 seconds left. Dunham with 2. Dunham for the tie. We're going to overtime in Chicago.
What? Oh my, did she get fouled? Did she get fouled?
Unbelievable.
Wow, John and I are up from our seats. That is insane. Aaliyah Dunham, step back, cash, overtime.
Xavier was 0 for 9 from 3 before that triple ties it.
No, this is wild. This is, I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
We are playing 5 more. The Big East Women's Basketball Tournament presented by Jeep. Villanova, Xavier, OT next.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Heading to overtime here between Villanova and Xavier, tied at 49. Aaliyah Dunham with the team's first 3 of the day to beat the buzzer, and here we go. Gray and Herlihy. The tip won by the Musketeers, who have not won a Big East tournament game in 5 years. And we've got a foul on Villanova. Cam Onken. And that means we've got free throws here with both these teams in the penalty. Kim, what are you looking for in the bonus period?
Well, I still just can't believe what happened. Going back to the 2 missed free throws from Maddie Siegrist. And then Xavier looked dead in the water. Aaliyah Dunham with an incredible, incredible shot. But Xavier has the momentum right now. They've been excellent defensively. That's where it's going to start for them. And then I would get things going to the rim. Dunham breaking it down. Gray has struggled, but she needs to get closer on her attack.
What a wild affair here at Wintrust Arena. Winner plays Marquette tomorrow night in the quarterfinals. Herlihy in double figures. Can't hit. Back to the Musketeers. What has happened to Villanova's offense?
They've settled, which is what we've said all game. They've had success when they've fed the ball into that high post area against this zone, but 6 of 30 from 3, John. That's what's happened to the offense. And a lot of the takes have been from players who don't shoot at a high percentage. They haven't had the right people taking the shots.
Harry Peretta in his 42nd and final season at the helm at Villanova, he said this has definitely been a season that's taxed him in terms of the wild finishes. Well, buckle up for another one today to try to keep his career in the Big East rolling for a quarterfinal tomorrow. But if anybody knows how to coach in these situations, it's Peretta. This is his 66th Big East tournament game. Siegrist, kick out. James has had the hot hand all day long. That's her 5th 3.
No, this is crazy. Raven James, 28% from 3 on the season. Entering this game, she's now hit 5 of 6 from deep, 5 of the 7 threes for Villanova.
Wasselson with a brick.
You know what, I was actually thinking about Raven James heading into this weekend. Because,
really?
Because she kind of like slides under the radar. She's quiet. You never really hear about her. And then out of nowhere, she just starts knocking down these big time shots.
Only averages 5 points a game as Herlihy will head to the line for a pair. Almost finished that one. The senior fouled by Gray. Oh my, that wasn't even close. Villanova is 5 for 10 from the free throw line. I mean, that wasn't even remotely close.
I don't know there's a weird energy in the arena right now. A lot of crazy things are going on.
Harry Pruddy, you see him turned around, talking to somebody that's watching this game right behind.
Harry doesn't need any more stress in year 42. He doesn't need his team to be airballing free throws in overtime.
He told you in December, Wasselson, that was from way, way downtown, and she's short. He told you in December after a one-possession win over Providence that he might retire on the spot.
That was an epic post-game interview. I actually forgot about that one.
2 months later.
That was the angriest winning interview I've ever seen.
We thought we were getting good reaction. Raven James. That's so Raven. Her 6-3.
Raven James, automatic teller machine. ATM, straight cashing out all day.
Oh! Morgan Sharps with just the second triple of the day for Xavier. This game is wild. Xavier needed that. What a crazy ball game here.
That's so Raven. I cannot believe you said that.
A career-high 6 threes. Gadeka was fouled by Gray. Only Gray's third. And here's the thing. Villanova's not been strong from the free throw line today. Got to hit these. Gadeka's 3 for 5. To my point.
Well, you can't give it that so Raven mention and not see into the future.
I mean, she's hit 6 threes. A career high 6 triples for Raven James.
She's been the MVP of the day, either game.
A near steal. James to the deck. Wasselson and Gadeka now 2. Jump ball possession with the Cats. So now Onken will be the inbounder here as Xavier tries to apply some pressure. This is what Harry Peretta will have Mary Gadeka do, a point forward of sorts. At 6'1" to handle the ball the way she has. It's why she's top 7 in program history in scoring, and now they call a timeout with 14 on the shot clock. Harry Peretta said, you know, I'm ready to retire. But guess what? The Big East isn't ready, and the game of basketball is not ready.
No way. Harry Peretta, legendary stuff, 42 years. Hard to fathom.
So what would you do here if you're the Wildcats?
Well, you want to use as much clock as you can here. And for Xavier, they need to start thinking about fouling. At this point, with just 14 seconds, I would just play it straight up. But Villanova wants to use as much time as they can. And I would keep it in the hands of Gadeka or get it back to her inside. Or hey, have Raven James, the silent assassin, knock down another one. 6 of 7 from 3 for Raven James, the junior point guard.
A 5-point affair with 66 seconds left here at Wintrust Arena. Villanova outscoring Xavier 8-3 in this overtime period. For Xavier, a team that came into this one having won only 3 games on the season, what does it say about Melanie Moore and what she's doing with the Musketeers program that they would not quit in this game and forced OT?
Oh, this program is going places undoubtedly. Don't forget, you know, these aren't her recruits. This is what she walked into, and she has molded the vision of this team, molded the culture, the character, the identity of this team. I think we're seeing a team that leads with defense. They've stuck with this 2-3 zone all game, and it's been effective. And we're seeing a team that continues to fight and fight and fight, despite having a 3-26 record on the season. That is rare. That is special. So it's no doubt that with each year, Melanie Moore is going to have this program growing.
Herlihy, the inbounder, and Gray defending her. What has the legend Harry Peretta come up with here? A post up for Herlihy, who turns and hits.
It hasn't been Gadeka and Segrist today, John. It's been James and Herlihy. And that is a good sign for Coach Peretta.
Sharp short on the 3. James fighting for it as Ross comes up with it. Dunham with the drive. Can't hit. The Cats come out with it. And James is fouled to try to seal this win up. Harry Peretta looking like he's going to live another day in Big East basketball.
I just love it. There's never any let up.
No.
Still yelling at them, making sure they're all matched up.
Well, the free throw shooting is something that the Cats are going to look to improve upon tomorrow. Oh my, she missed them both. And a timeout called by Xavier. We're not done yet. There's still 35 seconds left, Kim. If you make both those, it's a 9-point game. And instead here, a chance for the Musketeers to draw something up.
7 of 15 from the free throw line. They've left 8 points on the board, and in crucial moments as well. We go back to that wild shot from Aaliyah Dunham that sent the game into overtime. Right before that, Maddie Segrist, one of their top free throw shooters, went 0 for 2 at the line.
So, trending towards a meeting with Marquette tomorrow. How about the Golden Eagles? Selena Lott put on a show last Sunday in a win over DePaul, and that's what Villanova, if they can hang on here, will have to be ready for tomorrow.
Well, I think we were both on that game. I think we and a lot of other people walked away saying that may have been the most impressive performance from a Big East team this season. That was pretty much wire-to-wire domination. They were incredibly dominant on the boards in that one.
Game clock set to 35 seconds with Wasselson as the inbounder. Dunham was fouled by Segrist, and Harry Peretta is ticked.
He's livid. He cannot believe this right now.
That's her 4th foul.
He's going to sub her out right now. Nope, he called his sub back. Little indecisive.
That look says it all. Because the last thing you want to do is give Dunham, a strong free throw shooter, the opportunity to get 2 on the board.
I'm really going to miss Harry Peretta reactions. They are unlike anything else I've ever seen.
Timeout Villanova. That is their last timeout. Now both teams with none left. Harry Peretta in year 42, pondering and about to put something together. Him and Joe Mullaney. You can't talk about Harry Peretta without talking about Joe Mullaney. Coach Mullaney coached at St. John's, was the head coach at that program. And he's been with Harry now for the last 2+ decades as the associate head coach of this program. Joe really coordinates the defense for this team.
Yeah, he is an instrumental piece anytime we've been in their practices, their shoot-arounds. He has a lot of the strategy going. Coach Peretta is marching right out to the floor, making sure every player knows where they are supposed to be. Ooh, he is challenging Bridget right now. You better be in the right spot.
I'll tell you what, if you think this is a retirement party, we've got news for you. It is not. He plans to be right back here tomorrow night. The intensity is palpable. Gadek on the catch, and she's fouled right away by Gray. That's her fourth. Gadeka 4 of 7 from the line today. Villanova as a team 7 for 15. Much needed for the Cats, considering the woes they've had there. They were up by 3 with 10 seconds left in regulation, and Siegrist missed both free throws. That's what gave Dunham the opening to hit the game-tying 3. Dunham with the left hand can hit. Gray is fouled on the putback attempt. Harry Peretta puts his hands to his face. We might need a camera on him all game tomorrow.
These reactions are on another level.
Oh my.
We need GIFs.
Yes.
We need memes. We need it all. Where's the social team?
So here's Gray, who hits the first. Back to a 5-point game. Neither team has a timeout left. Onken having trouble getting it in, and James is fouled by Dunham, just her third, but James is a nearly 80% free throw shooter. Raven James. What a day for the junior now with 19 points. And that is her career high.
Wow.
Incredible performance by the junior, now with 20. And Xavier turns it over, and that's going to do it. Well, this time of year, you have unsung heroes sometimes rise to the occasion, and Xavier hitting a 3 from Aaliyah Dunham as Wasselson commits the foul. The Musketeers have a lot to be proud of today with the way they fought.
Absolutely. We mentioned to be able to continue to fight and give everything you have despite your record is really incredible, because I've been on teams with similar records, and it's no fun, let me tell you. So the fact that Coach Moore has been able to hold this group together, I think bodes really positively for what's to come with this Musketeers team.
Xavier fought hard as Sharps throws it up to Ariana Gray. Villanova survives in overtime, and Harry Peretta will coach a 67th Big East tournament game in his career as the Cats advance past Xavier and will meet Marquette in the quarterfinals.
Ooh, not always the prettiest one for his Villanova team. A lot of areas I think they'll revisit. You mentioned the free throws, a lot left on the table there. Just 8 of 33 from 3, which coincidentally matches their shooting in the last meeting with Xavier, 8 of 33. But Raven James absolutely stole the show in this one.
A career day for Raven James. 20 points for the Villanova junior to lead the Cats in overtime. Our Megan Caffrey is with Raven.
Thank you, John. Raven, a career high for you today. Coach Beretta preaches in the huddle, don't think, just shoot. How did you embody that today?
Yeah, I mean, we just came out here and played our game and played to our strengths, and Harry always preaches take open shots, and I believe in my teammates, and they always believe in me to let it go, so I was just feeling today on the right wing. I just had to let it go to get us back in the game.
Xavier forced overtime. What was the difference for your team offensively to come away with the win?
Offensively, just being confident and looking for our shooters and getting the ball in the middle to Mary, and Maddie still played hard and just encouraging one another even when things went south and we just never gave up on each other.
It's Coach Beretta's final season in the Big East, his final Big East tournament. How is that extra motivation for your team to come out here and continue to live another day?
I mean, from the beginning of the season, we've just been saying we're doing this for him, we're doing this for each other. Like, he means so much to this program, and we just wanted something different for him to just make it out this first round and take it game by game, and we'll see what we can do.
Raven, congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
John and Kim?
What an answer that is. We're doing it for him, doing it for Harry Beretta, and today a junior in Raven James would not let the Cats season end in the Big East. A WNIT candidate, but today, Kim, they move on to the Big East quarterfinals where they will meet Marquette tomorrow.
And sometimes wins in March are not the prettiest, right, John? I think there's a lot of moments that they'll review in that tape, have a quick turnaround until tomorrow. The three-point shooting was not good. Maddie Segrist was not good, but that's what it takes in March, is to have other people step up. I thought Bridget Herlihy was very impressive, and then obviously Raven James just taking over that game with her outside shooting. But tomorrow will be interesting. Last meeting between these two teams, Marquette, Villanova. Villanova won that one. So a lot to look forward to tomorrow. Quick turnaround. We'll be back here for a full day.
The Golden Eagles, they watched this full game, and the drama here was palpable on day one of the Big East tournament in Chicago. Villanova, a winner. Big East Fast Break is coming up at 5:15 Eastern, 4:15 Central on YouTube and Twitter. And tomorrow, the quarterfinals, DePaul and Providence, followed by Seton Hall and Butler. Then it's Villanova and Marquette, closed out by St. John's and Creighton. Coverage beginning at 1 Eastern time tomorrow on Fox Sports 2. For our producer, Ryan McGahey, Ashley Leotis, Megan Caffrey, and my partner, Kim Adams. This is John Fanta saying so long for now from Chicago. What a first day of the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament.
They invented TV. Oh. Kelly, okay, let me finish packing this and I will head up. I'll be right there, Kelly.
Are they going to take a shower and then come out and do this?
Yeah, seriously, like what the fuck?
Why? Do they know they have to do this?
I'm gonna charge them fucking overtime.
Because she seemed like she was leaving.
I don't think she's one of the hosts.
Oh, okay. She's like, bye. Oh, shit.
We're safe.
Is it not locked?
Clear from the coronavirus.
Dude, I didn't know there was a post and shit like that. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, the good thing is that we don't have too much shit to do. I think there's an elevator somewhere. I don't know where, but.
Just carried him up the stairs. I guess the easiest way to do it.
All right, you're young.